Case 1. Pamela Smart. Pamela Smart. Her name is forever linked to one of the most infamous teacher-student scandals in American history. At just 22 years old, Pamela seemed to have it all. Fresh out of college, she had landed a job as the media coordinator at Winnacunnet High School in New Hampshire. She wasn't a traditional classroom teacher, but her role placed her right in the middle of student life. She helped coordinate broadcasts, worked with student media projects, and carried herself with an upbeat, professional energy. To everyone on the outside, she looked like a young woman with a promising future. But appearances can be deceiving. Behind that polished smile was a secret life that would shock the nation. Pamela had just married Greg Smart, her high school sweetheart. But their marriage began to unravel within a year. Greg was rumored to be unfaithful, and Pamela, feeling ignored, made a devastating choice. She began an affair. Not with a colleague, not with another adult, but with a 15-year-old student named Billy Flynn. Flynn was impressionable and vulnerable, and Pamela deliberately seduced him, creating a powerful emotional and physical bond. But she wanted more than just a secret relationship. She wanted her husband gone. Testimony later revealed that Pamela started planting the idea in Billy's head. If Greg were out of the picture, they could finally be together forever. First it was only talk. Then it became action. On May 1, 1990, Greg Smart walked into his condo after work. Waiting for him were two of Billy Flynn's friends, teenagers Pamela had indirectly pulled into the plan. They forced Greg to his knees and shot him execution style. Pamela had carefully arranged her alibi by attending a school meeting, convinced she had covered her tracks. But within weeks, the plan began to crumble. One accomplice confessed. Then Billy Flynn himself pointed directly at Pamela. At trial, Flynn testified that Pamela was the mastermind, pressuring him to prove his love by killing Greg. Pamela insisted she was innocent, claiming Billy acted alone in a jealous rage. But a secretly recorded conversation between Pamela and another student painted a different picture. She never outright confessed, but her evasive tone, nervous laughter, and talk about covering things up convinced the jury otherwise. In 1991, Pamela Smart was convicted of conspiracy to commit murder, being an accomplice to first-degree murder, and witness tampering. Her sentence: life in prison without parole. She was sent to Bedford Hills Correctional Facility in New York, where she remains to this day. Her case became a media spectacle, one of the first true crime stories to dominate television, tabloids, and even Hollywood, inspiring the film To Die For starring Nicole Kidman. Billy Flynn was eventually released in 2015 after serving his time. Pamela Smart will die behind bars. Backend Index pointing right. If you find this story chilling, make sure you subscribe to Undefined Crime right now. We bring you the darkest true crime stories where reality is stranger than fiction. And trust me, the next cases are just as shocking. Case 2. Carla Hughes. Carla Hughes looked like she had everything going for her. At just 25, she was a middle school teacher in Jackson, Mississippi. Intelligent, ambitious, and admired, she was not only shaping young minds but also working toward a graduate degree at Jackson State University. But beneath her calm, professional surface was a storm of jealousy and obsession. And in 2006, it exploded into one of the most shocking crimes Mississippi had seen in years. Carla was secretly dating Kian Pittman, a fellow teacher. But Kian wasn't hers to have. He was engaged to Avis Banks, a kind woman who was 5 months pregnant with his child. Carla knew about Avis. She knew about the baby. And prosecutors later argued she grew obsessed, jealous, and desperate. On November 29, 2006, Avis returned home after work. She parked her car, stepped inside, and walked toward her garage. She had no idea someone was waiting. Within moments she was ambushed, shot 4 times, once in the back, once in the head, and twice more in her body. Then, in a final act of brutality, she was stabbed in the face and neck. Avis and her unborn son died instantly. At first, suspicion turned toward Kian, but police quickly shifted focus. Carla's strange behavior gave her away. The night of the murder, she appeared at Kian's place nervous and panicked, missing both a set of clothes and a gun. Investigators later discovered she had stolen her cousin's firearm, the same caliber used in the murder. A blood-stained pair of shoes and a black jumpsuit tied her even closer to the crime. Her defense argued there was no DNA, no fingerprints, no direct forensic evidence. But the timeline, the missing weapon, her erratic behavior, and her motive painted a clear picture. In 2009, Carla Hughes was convicted of 2 counts of capital murder, one for Avis, one for her unborn child. She was sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences without parole. Today, she remains behind bars at the Central Mississippi Correctional Facility. Prosecutors called her crime cold, calculated, and brutal. She destroyed 3 lives: Avis's, her child's, and her own. Backhand index pointing right, and this is only the beginning. The further we go, the darker these stories become. So if you haven't yet, subscribe now to Undefined Crime and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what comes next.